Hello, America. It's Bianca, GOP girl with Clean TV Live. All right, Hillary's What Happened? Her latest book, What Happened? Does anyone really care what happened to Hillary's campaign? I don't. And I have a hunch most of America doesn't really care. I think on both sides of the aisle. The other side of the aisle because she lost. And our side of the aisle because she's of no significance. What happened, Hillary? I'll tell you what happened. I can think of 33,000 deleted emails that happened. What happened, Hillary? Well, you were the most politically corrupt candidate to ever run for president in history. It had nothing to do with your gender. Absolutely nothing to do with the fact that you were a woman. I would have voted for Condoleezza Rice in a heartbeat. I can think of several other women I would have voted for as well. However, it was you. It was the fact that you were the woman who was running. You who gave us Benghazi, and you were upset because Benghazi hurt your campaign? Well, I think Benghazi is the most important reason why you lost the presidency. Benghazi, you failed to keep Americans safe. You failed to keep them safe, and that Christopher Stevens, the ambassador whom you sent to Libya, Christopher Stevens and 3 other men died in Benghazi due to your failure to bring Americans home when you knew Benghazi was unsafe. Christopher Stevens sent you several emails in the weeks leading to Benghazi, and yet you failed to heed the warnings. You failed to heed the warnings of the black flags of ISIS. You failed to heed the warnings that something was about to take place. You failed to heed the warnings that Benghazi was the most dangerous place on earth. And yet you kept Americans there. You kept Americans there, and 4 Americans died. In fact, Hillary, you didn't even want America to know why they died. No. So you came up with a video that caused the Arabs to revolt against the Americans. You lied. And if you could have gotten away with it, you would have. Maybe that's why the men in Benghazi were supposed to stand down. Because I have a feeling that you didn't want anyone to come out of Benghazi alive. The fact is, Americans were saved. Americans did get out of Benghazi alive. They got out of Benghazi alive, and they were able to tell the truth about Benghazi. The truth that the United States State Department failed to send help. Because Hillary, America could have been there. We had several bases that could have been there to help. And yet, Hillary, you did nothing. Obama did nothing. But Hillary, you were the head of the State Department. So Hillary, you know what? Maybe your thought was about the video, what difference does it make? Well, it made a big difference in your campaign. And what difference did it make? It made a big difference to 4 men who died that night. What difference did it make? It made a big difference to the families of those who perished in Benghazi. But the biggest difference for you, Hillary, was that you lost the election for the presidency. Not because you were a woman, but because you failed to keep Americans safe. If you couldn't keep Americans safe when you knew they were in danger in Benghazi, I'd sure hate to have you be the one that I rely on to keep America safe. But Hillary, the fact of the matter is, the reasons for you losing are neither here nor there. Because what happened, I think most Americans could care less about what happened. I care about what's happening now. And what's happening now is we have had two catastrophic hurricanes. Hurricane Harvey in Houston, and now Hurricane Irma, that has hit the Virgin Islands and the United States, Florida as well. Unfortunately, the Virgin Islands have been somewhat forgotten. And I'd like Americans to be reminded that the U.S. Virgin Islands are very much a part of the United States of America. They consist of St. Croix, St. John, St. Thomas, and several other surrounding islands. Hurricane Irma was the most powerful storm of the century over the Atlantic Ocean. It was a Category 5. Its winds and its rising waters have devastated those islands. Devastated. Annihilated. We have thousands of people without homes. Thousands of people without food, water, and medical attention. It will be months, possibly years, before those islands are rebuilt. The infrastructure is said to be completely destroyed. And getting help to these people is nearly impossible, as the United States has forgotten the U.S. Virgin Islands. They need trucks that can get through impassable roads. There's looting that's taking place. The place is in rubble. And yet, I turn on the media and I see Hillary Clinton and what happened. I don't care what happened, Hillary. And for the people in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and for the people in Houston, Texas, and for the people in the Keys in Florida and other areas in Florida that have been somewhat or all or completely destroyed, they don't care either. America, I will be posting on my blog several charities where you can donate to the U.S. Virgin Islands, as they are the area of the United States that was hit the worst. And it literally looks as though a bomb has gone off. Unfortunately, you won't see it on the news. You won't see it on mainstream media. You will see it if you Google U.S. Virgin Islands as hit by Irma. And again, I will be putting on my blog several charities where you can donate. And on this video, I have also attached an old blog that hell has a place for those behind Benghazi. So please say a prayer for all affected by Harvey and Irma. As you all know, I know firsthand what it is like to be a victim of a catastrophic hurricane. And I have had a lot of people ask how I did. And I have to say, I'm very grateful in that there was no damage to my home and minimal damage to the area of Palm Beach County. However, you would think that a lot more had happened, as many people are without power and post offices aren't open, and it's just an inconvenience at the most. But I'm very grateful that I have my home, I have a roof over my head, and I have food and water. For the people in the Virgin Islands, they're not getting food and water from FEMA. They're not getting the needs. They're not getting the supplies that they so desperately need. So please, I will have those charities up later tonight, and my blog is gopgirlblog.blogspot.com. Thank you for watching, and just in closing, I don't know about you, but I thought after President Trump won the presidency, I really thought Hillary would put her tail between her legs and go away. But instead, she just keeps on coming back. I would think she would be embarrassed that she lost, and I would think she would be embarrassed at the fact that she was the worst presidential candidate in history. Thank you for watching. This is Bianca, GOP Girl with Clean TV Live, and have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.